Hello there, it's Dale, drummer from the band Fabonacci here, with a bit of a video blog concerning our sort of reunion after a bit of a 3-year tea break, I think you could say. Obviously, a majority of people, beyond friends and family, won't know who we are. We did a couple of EPs, and about 3 years ago went on a bit of a hiatus. And basically, we started in about 2006. I'd been in a couple of bands for sort of 5 or 6 years previous to that. I've been in a list with Alan, who plays keyboard and sings in Fabonacci, and I've been in Owsley Sunshine with Gaz, who played bass with Owsley Sunshine. And sort of both bands pretty much, I left one and the other split within a month of one another, in about 2005 I think it was. I sort of kept my hand in playing in a covers band, but wanted to get back into playing original material. And Alan's his living arrangements had changed, shall we say, around that time, and he'd written a batch of new songs, and he was an acquaintance of Gaz's, but never really got to know each other. So I invited them round to meet, and I really didn't think they'd get on, but they ended up working together on the first song we ever did, which I think was a song called Closed, or Close, which was a sort of a list B-side. And I just got an electronic drum kit, so I ended up putting some drums onto the demo. And I got my electronic drum kit after my wife and I had a car accident, and we used the insurance money to get myself an electric kit. So car accidents have a silver lining. Anyway, bit of a tangent, but yeah, we demoed this old list song, and then the first song we ever completed, I didn't play on a note on. It's called Projected Thoughts, and that was the first song that became the first EP, which was called Exits, sort of early 2007. And at the end of 2007, we'd done a handful of live gigs. We'd got a couple of live guitarists in, Tim and James. And by the end of 2007, I'd upgraded my electronic drum kit, and we were trying to weave samples in and stuff to the live sound. But it's quite tricky because Alan had two keyboards to play, and he had to operate the sampler as well. Obviously, it would have been easier if I'd have been able to trigger it or whatever, but we didn't have the technology at the time. So the second EP was Boundaries, and that was at the end of 2007. And then we sort of just worked on new material, what would have been the third EP in 2008. And as I say, for one reason or another, by early 2009 we'd ground to a halt, and we went off to work on other projects, bits and pieces. Gaz was focusing on Twin Lizard, his hip-hop thing, and I was working on my sort of guitar songwriting project, which is called Big Bad Carbon. And Alan did an album with a good friend of his called Adam, which is called Visualise Colours Stop. So anyway, if I was to sum up the Fabonacci sound, what we were trying to achieve then was probably a bit sort of scattershot. We all had different influences, but we didn't really sort of sit down and decide what we wanted to do. So it was Gaz had a lot of hip hop and Massive Attack influence, and I was from sort of a grunge, tub thumping background, and Alan really into his Radiohead, U2, and of course Skid Row. So, but yeah, so the first EP, it's available on Bandcamp, I think, Exits. Very electro-based. Gaz built samples and stuff, and he had a real coupled together D.I.Y sort of recording sound. It's very analogue, the way we did it at the time, and did a really good job with the equipment he had. And I was pretty unfocused at the time, and I didn't really know what I was supposed to be doing. And they were just glorious demos, but I stand by them as releasable recordings. But yeah, we're an electro guitar band, I think it's the best way to describe it. Hopefully this time round, the dynamics I think will be really good. I think the songs, Alan's got a great ear for melody. Gaz is really good at cool ideas to weave in and out of song structures. So, excuse me, I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be a bit more of a bit of a journey, some of the songs might be a bit of a epic opus sort of style, and we might write something, a formulaic pop song might pop up here and there, like there's a song called My Best, which I think is on Exits, the first EP. It's a straight ahead, really good sort of 3-minute pop rock song. I know Gaz mentioned in his blog that he felt that old Fabonacci material was coffee table rock, you know, that kind of relaxed sort of commercial, you know, sound perhaps. Element of truth in that, definitely. Alan will disagree, because obviously he's got his Radiohead influences, and that's the sort of benchmark for him, I think. You know, but obviously at the core of all their songs is a simple, in effect, a simple structure, and obviously they build all this sort of electro, you know, sheath around it, or for want of a better word. And I think we struggled last time with the early incarnation of the band because we just didn't have the technology to pull it off live. The monitoring, we were trying to split the stereo signal, so I had it clicked in one ear, but the rest of the band didn't have my click. They just had the samples, and it's hard to describe, but it was frustrating. And we had a couple of pretty poor gigs, and there was a lot of, you know, tension in the air as to why it was going wrong. I think we had a practice not long before we sort of went on our break. We did a practice without any samples, nothing like that, and it was really good. So I think we'll be getting the essence of the songs absolutely nailed down excuse me, before we even consider playing live. I know Gaz, his attitude towards playing live, I think it's cooled a little bit lately. I think he's willing to do it if we've got a real high standard of, you know, togetherness. And one of the reasons we got back together is because we were all demoing stuff in our own little worlds. We realised it wasn't really working. We work best, you know, in a practice room, the 3 of us, the 4 of us, whoever is about to jam, really, making music together as it's supposed to be done. So there you go, in a roundabout way. That is Fabonacci from day one up until now. And I shall speak to you soon. Goodbye.